Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I am so excited to be back with you all tonight after my big move, and it is the July 2023 Creative Memories Virtual Crop. And as you all know, I live stream every challenge that they put out for the virtual crop. I missed last month and I'm hoping to make it up sometime this weekend. We'll see if I can accomplish that or not. But first, let's get into sketch number one. My viewers on YouTube have voted on my community tab, and one of the collections they picked was Sweet Summer. So that's going to be the first collection I'm working with tonight. Let me get things changed over. All right. Got to get used to my new setup here. I'm getting myself all reshuffled. Okay, sketch number one is this. And I always hold up the sketch that I've written on so that way you all can see my dimensions that I'm going to be using. I have turned this one into a 2-page sketch, and also I have not unpacked my jumbo circle yet. I'm actually thrilled that I was able to have a working printer because the movers broke one of our printers in the move. And this one thankfully still worked. So at least I was able to print out the sketches and write out the measurements that I'm using for you all. But so instead of a circle, I've improvised a little bit. Go figure. It challenged me to be a little more creative. And I hope you all appreciate my interpretation using the Sweet Summer collection coming up here. I've also lost my paper holder, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Maybe I can improvise on this one too. Let's see here. Okay. Nope, that's going to put a shadow. Okay, maybe not there. Let's do this. Okay. So I've pulled out 2 sheets of our beige cardstock, and that is going to be what I'm going to use as the base for this layout. I also have pulled out, if I can find it, my mirrored scallop chain border maker cartridge. And I've gone ahead and I've punched 2 borders from the paper that had the little cards on the back of it. I also have taken some of my scraps from when I did the beach balls. With my Sketch With Me series, you all know I did the beach balls on YouTube, which was actually a lot of fun for me. So I went ahead and I took some of my scraps from cutting out all the circles for those, and I just cut these really large triangles off the corners of my paper. It was basically scraps that I had left over from, you know, using my custom cutting system to cut all those beach ball circles. And then I also took this piece of paper with the waves on it, and it's the one with the fun and the sun on the back, and I cut 4 4x6 mats. And when I did that, I cut the 4-inch sections first. I had basically 4 inches left. So I'm going to use 1 inch through the middle of our layout. Let me move these out of the way. And 1 is going to go underneath our mirrored scallop chain. So I'm deviating from the sketch a bit. Go figure. So we're going to run this through the middle here. And then we're going to also run one up here. I don't know. The circles just spoke mirrored scallop chain to me. And like I said, I just didn't feel like having a 1-inch scrap. So I thought, let's find a place to use this. Let's use the whole sheet of paper. And go ahead and I'm going to work to get it on the page here. I'm going to get a little bit of tape runner going. I was amazed I found my tape runners. I even found my vellum tape runner, which we're going to be using on the next sketch. So, okay. Here we go. I have my 0 centering ruler I pulled out, And I'm just going to run this right through the middle of the page. And of course, I'm going crooked because it's my first time live streaming in forever. I guess I better double check that through the middle here. And yes, I'm sorry that there's a little bit of a glare from my light. My light actually is above my paper now, and I think it's actually making the paper just really shine. Y'all are able to see what I'm working with so much easier, I think, with this new setup. At least I hope so. I guess if you can't, let me know, and I can try to adjust the brightness. But I thought this kind of optimized the actual colors when I tested out the light and the dimness versus the brightness that was coming out. Okay, I have like just a little smidgel. I'm going to snip off with my scissors. That's just a little bit off down here. I noticed when I was cutting, I missed a little piece, and it just left a little bit of a, there we go, a not so straight edge for me. So scissors can fix all those things, which is wonderful. We're done with our rulers, so you can set yours aside. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our other 1-inch strip across the top. Oops. And let's go ahead and work on that real quick. So this is going to go about 1/4 of an inch down from the top of the page. I guess I could pull the ruler back out for you all for a more accurate measurement, but it's about 1/4 of an inch from the top here going across. There we go. And oops. Uh-oh, losing things. That's not good. Okay. And I managed to find my parchment board. If you haven't seen my parchment board before, well, it's got a little bit of bent out of shape. I'm going to have to redo my electrical tape, but I stick a sheet of parchment onto a nice sturdy piece of cardboard with electrical tape, which is one of the few things that can stick to parchment. And it just is a great surface to work on with your repositionable tape runner. Because, of course, when you're punching things, you have all these little holes, and you don't want to get tape in them. Or you don't want the tape to be showing through when you put them on your layout. So, I should have checked my tape runners before I started doing this. That's actually the one thing I forgot to grab refills. Let's hope I'm not playing tape runner chicken on this video. Okay. I always call it tape runner chicken because I crochet, and we always called it yarn chicken too. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and center these. I just thought that having that little bit of turquoise behind the purple just really helped it to pop. I kind of checked it against a couple other papers I had left in my stash and just really liked it on this one. So that's what I'm going with. You can use what you have in your stash that you like. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and layer our triangles, and we're going to kind of do them almost so they look like flags on a ship. You know how the flags on the ship are always kind of just a little bit angular, and so we're actually going to have the top one is the one that's going to be against the seam, and then the one underneath is going to kind of come out from it. So let me see if I can actually do this. So I'm going to use the regular tape runner on one end, and then I might just use the repositionable over it. I don't know. Sometimes I get these ideas and then it's like, what am I doing to myself here? Okay, we're going to just put a little bit of repositionable over the point because we don't really want that point to stick down yet because we want to put this second piece underneath it. Okay, my stripes in the middle are not lining up, so I need to fix that first. Hang on. Okay, flip that over, flip this one over, fix this one. Oh, I don't have my multi-purpose tool. Okay, and I thought with having the ruler that things would wind up nice and even, but it's okay. Here we go. Oh, I guess it wasn't too far off. let me get tape on my second triangle here. And a little bit goes a long way, really. Okay. So these are going to be our top triangles. The bottom ones we put the little bit of repositionable on. I'm going to have to get used to my new table because things are sliding around differently than on my other table. But you know what? That's part of the fun of getting used to my new setup here. I'm actually really happy to have a more real table here. Oops. Okay, hang on. Let me scoot this up just a little bit. I kind of want the point to go a little bit more through the center of the stripe. There we go. So I'm just going to push down on the edge that's closer to the edge of the paper here. And the stripes are not quite going to line up. But that's okay if we're a little bit offset like this. It's probably close enough. Oops. And, oh, of course, you know, I'm going to have to get myself one of those little grippy pads just for my papers coming up. Okay. Or maybe work on my 13 by 13 mat, which could be too. So now this one, we're just going to lift up this end that has the repositionable tape on it. I'm going to layer this one under about the same distance for the point here, kind of coming through the middle of the paper. And I'm leaving about, how much am I leaving? Where did I put my ruler? Here. Let's see. Because this is probably good for me to know. An inch. Everything's an inch tonight. So there we go with that one. And now I guess let me lift this one up and do the same on this side. And then I will go ahead and get my ruler back over here so I kind of have a good idea of where an inch is. Going from the edge of the paper here. There's that. Here's the center. Whoops. Just a little bit crooked here. I need to go out just a tear a bit more. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Instead of circles, we have diamonds that are becoming kind of like ship flags. You know, just another day in the Creative Pages with Catherine studio here. All right. I also had the other corner of the paper that I went ahead and cut, and we're just going to do the same thing on the bottom here. We're going to layer this one underneath and kind of make them coming up from our bottom corners here again. So I'm just going to use repositionable on these because they're smaller, and I think it's just going to be easier all the way around. All right, on everything here. Flip everything over. I mean, the sketch did provide me some inspiration for this stuff, but I don't know. Okay, so we're going to get this bottom one kind of towards the corner here. I'm going to keep this other part lifted. And then this one's going to go kind of about the same here. All right. So what is that, about a ½ inch? Should I get my ruler again for you? Okay. Yep, ½ inch. Look at that. Sometimes I'm still actually halfway decent at eyeballing some of these things here. Okay. So first we're going to get this one down. And then I will lift up on the top part of the triangle. And then we're just going to get this other one placed. And I will go ahead and make sure I'm about a ½ inch again, because I know I like symmetry. I think a lot of people like symmetry, but you know, if it doesn't matter that much to you, don't grab the ruler and just get the things on the page. It's nice to use up some scraps. And I guess it would help if I wasn't quite so far off the camera. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so now I have my mats that are going to go, let's see, where were my mats going to go? Here, 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 and here. But I also have one of our embellishments that I was going to run through the bottom of the page because I thought it just reiterated some of our lines that we have in the top. So I'm going to move these two up a little bit. We're going to run these little waves going across our page because it brings in the color and it brings in just kind of that movement as well. The I don't know, the circular movement. I just wanted to repeat in the bottom. I had the embellishment, so why not? Hopefully you all still have the embellishment as well. And if not, you don't have to do this part. Just thought it adds just a little bit of extra to the layout. And even though we're covering up a little bit of our triangles, you can still see it through the cutouts in the embellishment here. Oops, okay, my embellishment is like just a little bit wide for this page. That's interesting. Okay. Well, our Creative Memories does have allowances that they allow the manufacturer, so that's okay. It's good to know. And if I have issues putting it into my pocket page, I will just take my scissors. Like I said, there's always an easy fix, and just give it a little snip. So there we go. Okay, yep, this one's just a little bit long as well. Okay, uh-oh, stuck to my electrical tape. Here we go. So no, that wasn't how I had that one before, I don't think, because I know I have something else coming in over here. This was over this. Okay. Yep, this was just a little bit lower. This is a little bit lower because I have embellishments as well that I just thought really helped the page pop. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull in my embellishments so that way I can do my matte placement. And look, I found the sticker afterwards, after I designed the page, and I thought, is that not perfect to have that sail is almost the exact colors as what I've done with my flags on my page? I just thought, it was meant to be, because I didn't remember it after 3 weeks on the road this summer. So okay, there we go. So how is about that? Maybe we'll move this one over too, because on the original sketch, they have the photos going up and over, and then they have a smaller one. But I do like having the larger photos and the opportunity for the larger photos. So that's what I did. I'm going to go ahead and get these stuck down now that I'm comfortable with where they are, because I knew roughly where I wanted my embellishments to go. And this is going to go up here. This is going to go over here. And you can always add more photos to this page as well within your triangles. Like you can even do like a square one that goes across through it, kind of like weird. Sometimes we've done the where we've cut circles going through the middle of the page before, and you can put a photo on that as well. Okay, this is not going to go completely together because of the embellishment being just a little bit long. So I apologize if it looks a little bit off or a little bit just not. There we go. I was want to do that with just a little space, because otherwise it's not going together nice and tight, which is, it's not going to be super nice and tight in your album either. You're going to have it open and apart anyways. So just with that little embellishment with those waves, they're just not quite flush with the paper. I may have to trim that off right away because I won't say it's already a problem, but it's a little bit of a problem. Okay. Here we go with this one. I'm going to grab my repositionable tape again to put this one down. I had a little bit of an issue before I got on camera, so my umbrella, the holder for the umbrella is a little bit bent. So it is what it is, but it should go on the page really nicely anyways. Yep. There we go. And then I'm going to grab some foam squares, I think, for our perfect weather sticker. I'm so happy I found the foam squares. It's hard to not have some foam squares on a page a lot of the time. So let's do this real quick. And here we go. And then this one I think I'm just going to go ahead and put straight on. And there we have it. Okay, I lost my pen. I know something fell earlier. I think that's it. So, not really a tight interpretation of the sketch, but hopefully it gave you another idea of something that you could do with a sketch with circles. You know, why not create flags if that's, if you can't find your jumbo circle, get creative. And I feel like our mirrored triangle really kind of did reflect at least what's at the top of the page. That kind of inspired the beginning to my page. And then I just had to pivot a little bit when I could not find my circle. So I'm going to hold it a bit closer. Actually, that's a little bit too close. You can't see the whole page. There we go. And here we are. I love how those little thick squares layered. And it just feels good to use up some scraps. So if you make some beach balls, you'll have scraps that you can make a really fun layout as well here using your Sweet Summer collection. And thank you so much for joining me for my first live stream back. Y'all were kind of quiet, but I can see that you're there and I appreciate it. So I will be live streaming another sketch here shortly, probably in about 5 minutes or so. I just need to get reset because I know it's getting a little bit late on the East Coast. And then I'll try to get the other two done tonight as well. Until next time.